Promo codes, dude. Got it.
I got a lot of I got promo codes if you need them.
Yeah. It's got to be 25%. Don't even bother, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude. It's got to be 333%, bro.
Yeah.
Or
more than 50 years.
Or 66.6%. Skip ads. All right, dude. We got Larry Silverstein's insurance policies in here.
Before we start, I'm gonna let my better half finish up what she's doing.
All right. Well, we're in. I got my better half. I'm making Al read her a book right now. Making Al read to mom.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So we're good.
All right, we're good.
Yeah. Your little one's busy. I got all four are checked out. It's just I got my my little boy at the trampoline park. My two are at grandma's, and my other 12-year-old's grounded. But I let him take a little bike ride to blow off some steam because he's been restricted all day.
Grounded.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
All right. Well, we'll get. Whoa. This is the illusion and
promo code Joe. How's it going?
Promo code. It's your code name. I'm the illusion. Your promo code Joe.
Jordan Richter. Hi. How are you?
I'm
never going to be good at this.
That's okay.
You just have a way more savvy intro.
Yeah, it came out. It's been polished over time like a fine stone, fine stone in the river, dude.
I need the equivalent of like a whoa. I need like a oy vey. It's Jordan Richter. How are you?
Promo code. It's the
promo code Joe. Promo code Joseph.
Yeah. So what the 12-year-old got into some trouble today, huh?
Yeah, I had a mom. I had another mom who is my son's best friend's mom. The mom texted me this morning a TikTok video of my son. And the TikTok video is my son screaming obscenities to a crowd of people, and he's not like that at all. I was like, "Is this you?" And so
what kind of
recorded it. This is the beautiful thing about social media is that it's a
permanent.
It's a permanent alibi. I could gently and we used to do that back at the skate park also, but no one, it wasn't recorded. So, anyways, that's why he's grounded.
Who was he screaming at?
Just a crowd of people. I think they were playing Pokemon or something.
Oh, like other kids?
No, like adults.
Adults?
At the park. Yeah, at our skate park, there's the regular park.
Yeah.
So they went out of the skate park, which he's not supposed to do. So I made the mistake by letting my kids skate alone. Basically I drop them off and I say, okay, you got 2 hours to skate. I'll come back and pick you up.
Sure. He's 12. He's 12.
Yeah, and I'll set about 3 or a handful of times I let him take the Uber to the skate park, give him a little bit of freedom, and but that's done now. No more. No more.
So wait, like the story of it was going great till we heard that there were adults playing Pokemon, which perked my curiosity.
I'm kind of yeah, I don't know, but.
So there were adults playing Pokemon. He went over with his TikTok rolling and told them they were a bunch of kooks.
Yeah, it was just terrible. It was just terrible.
And what was there a response? Was it to elicit a response?
No, it was.
Oh, wait, we get it. Wait, you got to hold that up. Oh, he's terrorizing him from afar.
Yeah, it was. I'm just.
So they're playing Pokemon. What does that mean? They're sitting there with cards and Dungeons and Dragons. What is Pokemon? I first of all.
Well, I'm not a So Pokemon.
I was trying to get you to reveal your in-depth.
Yeah. Well, since I play every day, I clock about 4 hours of Pokemon, so I can definitely.
It's a card game, right?
No, it's an app that you download on your phone. It's really cool. If you want, I can give you a promo code.
Give me a promo code, please?
Oh man, it's a game. It's an augmented reality game.
Is it the one where they walk around and look?
Yeah, it's retarded. Yeah, it's.
So they were walking around.
Like there's grown adults literally playing catch 'em all. Like they're like serious about it. Like they got strategic places throughout the
greater metro area,
throughout the park. So they're like, this near the water park, this is the best place where you can catch Charizards, and over here is the best place to catch Pikachus. And they've got and they come together in groups and they do Pokemon meetups, and it's sad. I've never downloaded Pokemon, by the way.
I know, but I'm still trying to figure out why your boy got grounded. Was it the profanity or the hassle?
It was the profanity.
So if he had hassled them without the profanity,
no, even if he hassled them, he still would be grounded.
Adults playing Pokemon.
Yeah, because his friend Eduardo and others.
wait! Can we just see the contempt again, Eduardo?
Yeah, no offense to Eduardo and Julio,
but him and Eduardo were.
That's gonna get me in trouble. No, it's all good, man. It's just like, there's these guys at the skate park, like younger kids who are around his age that are just. He's at that age where he's trying to impress them, and a kickflip nose wheelie is not good enough anymore. So you gotta double down with some antics. And so it's the skate park, I'm trying to impress them there, and then outside the skate park, and it's like it's never.
And they recorded themselves doing it.
I guess someone recorded him, and then he was gonna I'll put it on TikTok. I got 763 followers. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, cool. And then it's like you forget about dad and you forget about everything you stand for. And the problem, that's why he's grounded, is because of we just don't do that,
No. So how did you find out?
His best friend's mom texted me, which is doubly embarrassing. So he had a list.
What?
He had a list of 4 things he had to do. He had to clean his room, he had to clean the living room, and he had to clean the backyard, and he had to practice his he had to practice some schooling. And so that was it. And so he just was able to go on a little bike ride too, because he's a good kid. He's a good kid. It's just.
So do you want to shout out his? Is it a channel? Is TikTok? Is it a channel? Do you get a channel on TikTok or a page? What is
that's Eduardo's channel? No, that's Eduardo's TikTok.
your boy's channel, dude. Let's get your voice up to 1,000, dude. Let's get him.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Eduardo might take it the wrong way.
Let's see what's going on behind the scenes.
I don't want to encourage Eduardo's behavior. Good old Eduardo.
So I thought I would give you an update, because we're on the dad's thing. So the update on the daughter's boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
So it was, they were late on Wednesday night coming home, right? And I was like, I gotta go to my wife. I'm like, all right, dude, we're gonna go stand out, and then we're gonna stand out in the driveway and sweat them. So yeah, dude, we went full cul-de-sac culture, dude. We got out and stood in the driveway. And
wow.
waited for him to pull up with arms crossed. Dead stares.
No talking.
No talking. It was all time, dude. The dude officially hates me now, dude.
That's hilarious.
But I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Did it work?
And our daughter secretly loved it, dude.
Good.
You know, because we're pretty,
cool.
yeah, because we did the you know, the parenting boundary thing, dude.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing I've learned in over the years. Because you know, I came in late with the stepchild, right? I came in with her at, was she 9? I've known her since she was a little, but 9, I became an authority figure in the dream. And I've noticed every time that like true boundaries have been established, it's actually been met with full like relief in a weird way. Like every time it's come in kind of heavy and we've gone and just established like hardcore, like the first time I noticed it was she was 10, 11. I forgot exactly what she did, but she was in trouble. And it was like, you got to make it. It was a 3-day weekend and she got into trouble on like a Friday. And if you don't, you have to be cool all the way till the end of the 3-day weekend on Monday, or you lose privileges next weekend. And it was, she made it all the way to like Monday at like 5 and cracked. I forget what it was, cracked, and we went in and we fully like, yeah, and it was like a big yank too, like whatever it was, there was like a horse show or something like that. She's a horse kid, right? And we pulled it, and it was met with this exact opposite of what you would think, because she was like, I got unstable internet connection. Oh man, is that you? Is that me? Are we unstable?
Sorry, that was me. No, I was downloading this document that you sent me.
Oh,
go ahead.
The 170 page flow chart. So it's interesting. So it's I just noticed the more the boundaries are upheld. Well, okay, so that was it. We said that if this happens between now and then, you get the next thing, and then it happened, and it was like the meltdown with the consequence was catastrophic. And then the next day it was met with like, okay, there was like a relief, because we stuck to our guns. Because I know the one thing is like, if you don't follow through with your consequence, they lose respect.
Yeah.
Like that's real like kid psychology 101. But
yeah,
I intuited.
Yeah, I know that was like the phone was the thing for me. Like I've been like gracious, like let them use the phone and some technology. Now it's like the phone and the computer are done, like they're basically locked away. And it was like, you can go on a bike ride. Oh really, can I listen to my phone? I was like, nope, you can go on a bike ride. And so that's you gotta like, because the initial deal was no more technology, for I don't know how long. I mean, it could be a day or it could be a year. I don't know. I'll have to decide based on how much trust you can regain,
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. It's we were just doing the same thing here, because we don't do a lot of the technology here with the little. But it was funny, right before this, you wanted to watch something about Ewoks, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I was like, you have to read mom a book first. Like you have to sit down and read your mom a book first before you get to do that. And there was like a little bit of pushback here. Wait just a second, Patrick, here's the all right. So for those out in the lives, the chat, here's the document, the 170 page flow chart that links all of it together, dude. The whole Koof Rockefeller conspiracy with nice color graphics, the whole thing. So you dig through it. Somebody else did the work, so you don't have to. And it's all right there, dude. It's it's the real deal. It's so real. I haven't even really been able to I skimmed it, but I was like, it's information overload ultimately, dude. So it's gnarly.
Yeah,
I don't even know if we want to pull it up.
When you glean through it, you could what you glean from it when you go through it, it has everything you get the season or the spice of what we've all had a premonition of anyways, what we've already known to be what it is. You see the key words, and you see the key abbreviations, and you see the key players, and you're like, oh yeah, I mean, it's what we have. I mean, we're beating.
Well, it's like the truth's revealing itself pretty state of the art right now, and it's interesting because not only that document came to me at the same time that the complete breakdown of who actually Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is, dude, and her whole history is she's not a bartender. She's the furthest thing from being a bartender humanly possible. I don't like that one's almost more tangible, but I don't know if anyone even cares.
Her new nickname is Eduardo.
Eduardo. So I mean, when you get to the the shielding approach thing's old school, dude. That's a red herring, dude.
What
but I think that again is the stuff. I think for you guys, like we were talking about this today, right? Like I think where you and I struggle a little bit is the information so right there in our face. Like I don't need to go through this 170-page document. I've been studying this stuff. We know all this, dude. But now it's finally in like a pictorial color format.
So I think, I think that, yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's already right there. But we were talking earlier today. It's just the struggle is getting people that should know better to actually like be willing to delve into this information. Not for us. I don't need to know any of this. I don't need any more convincing of who these people are. I mean, you know what I mean? But it's this thing that's like, how do you get to this next wave of people that should know better, that actually are in tuned enough and smart enough and aren't asleep? They're not asleep people that we're talking about. Like these are people that, like you're talking, scholars and educated people that are like, no, really, just take a look, dude. Like
I'm flipping through it, by the way. Sorry, I'm not.
Well, it's this thing here. You know what I'm gonna do while you're doing that? While you're clicking through that, I'm gonna break out the AOC stuff and this is just a little bit of a thread because she's a good character that's commonly there, and you take a look at that for a second and see where you're at with it.
Well, let's check out.
Yes, I told you could. Big black engine. Do you feel good that you read the book now? See, I told you would. And
okay. Is there some?
So it becomes this thing. So, all right, back to where I was going before I get into this thing. So a lot of these people that I'm more convinced are gatekeepers are that appear to be awake than we think. And one of the things that this information with AOC, why it's important, even if you don't follow AOC or care about, if you don't know who AOC is, Alexandria Cortez, the congresswoman from New York, who's, supposedly the progressive rebel rouser, the whole thing. You may not care about her, but why it's important is because if you know who she is, it gives you a lens into people that are in the conservative movement calling this woman out. So you have this person who is this progressive lefty person, right? A big, that's her. She's the evil, and she's the commie. She's a socialist, and blah, 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 blah. Well, those people aren't telling you the truth either if they refer to her as a bartender, because she's anything but a bartender. So this information, so one of the people that gets exposed with this is a guy like Tim Pool. Right. Tim Pool's an interesting dude because he exposes a lot of stuff, but he's kind of center of the road. He's neither here nor there. He's an orange guy and the whole thing. So Tim Pool, like 3 days before I got this, did the thing. Remember AOC had the big tax the rich dress and the whole thing. And she was the deciding vote for the $1 billion for the Capitol Police, though she's a defund the police person. Like she was the one vote. Did you catch this?
I
by
didn't
the
know.
way, talk
No.
about numerology.
No.
The
I-
$1 billion
don't know.
for the $1 billion for the Israeli Iron Dome. You know how many votes it got? 420 votes, right? Well, what's 420? That's Hitler's birthday, right? So the irony of the approval of, and why, okay, so you're like, oh, well, that could have been anything. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez voted present and was forced, she was going to vote against it. Pelosi came and talked to her. Her vote makes it 420. And the numerology stuff's important. And the dopers are like, oh, no. The reason 420 and the big doper thing is because it is Hitler's birthday, by the way. And that's why, you get into Timothy McVeigh and 419 and blah, 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 blah. You could go down all these rabbit holes all day long. But let me just switch over to here to AOC, because there's a couple interesting things that most people don't know. I'm going to credit Lily with sending me both these documents. And one of them is just a Twitter stream that this guy's breaking it down. So when you go look at her thing, right? AOC, there's AOC right there. You know who she is, right? Let's take a look at her. Tax the rich, right? She's at the Gala Met Ball. Well, you get into this thing is she went to Boston U at $55,000 a year. She's a cum laude double major in international relations and economics. She's not a bartender, dude. That's the furthest thing she is from anything.
She graduated cum laude?
Yeah. Double major in international relations and economics, dude.
All
right. She also interned for Edward Kennedy too. She was an intern for Edward Kennedy, dude. That's not all. She goes on to she studies abroad in Niger with Women's Health Organization. And so she's working for an NGO.
She doesn't have kids, obviously, right?
No. She's a spook, dude. She's a CIA asset, dude. She's anything but the thing. So you're going to like this because you stream through, because remember, she's the star of that Netflix the documentary about the thing. Well, that's not random either, dude. She has a curious career, dude. Where is it, dude? She also had her own, where's the thing about, you can get into her whole thing about the startup companies and how she's fighting for tax exemptions. And here she is, she's with Kirsten Gillibrand in 2012, dude. Let's remember, this is a progressive, right? So she's rolling with Gillibrand there. Where's the one? It's about, where is she's,
a great handle. Rap game, Edward Bernays.
Edward Bernays. Where's the one? Because the one that's real interesting is where she comes into, they make the documentary about her, but the documentary is, and then you get into her tech husband, with her dude with the $100 million, man. And where's wait, here, there's so much on it, dude. The Niger program, and this chick from the Federalist Society that's running the thing, the NGO over in Nigeria, dude. There's so much of it, dude. There's so much of who.
Yeah, I'm not shocked. But
yeah, but the reason that I'm even interested in this thing is because people that are gatekeeping the concern, and this is my wake up call for people that are trying to be awake, and yet they're getting duped by the conservative movement. The conservative movement with their fake opposition, right? Is if you get into the fact that the right left thing is a total smokescreen. It's a total show. It's a total donkey show. It's a donkey and an elephant in a room pretending to fight each other, blah, blah, blah. So you look at these people like AOC, But so you have conservatives that refer to her as a bartender. They don't do the deep dive on her. This Twitter guy does a deep dive on her, gives you the whole thing. And you realize she's never been a bartender. She's a total asset, just like Dan Crenshaw, dude. Like one of my big targets is this Dan Crenshaw character.
So can you give me the skinny on this whole thing? So was this for the Iron Dome thing? How much was the amount?
I believe it was $1 billion, right?
And she was basically asking Congress to fund or to
fund to the United States
to fund Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system.
Yes, to fund the Iron Dome missile defense system.
And what's fascinating with that is that don't we give Israel like money like to the tune of like 30 billion a year?
Oh yeah, so we gave him some more. You know who's been spot on is Glenn Greenwald, dude. Glenn Greenwald's been killing it on this. So he went on to this thing the other day about
it's just a ridicule, and that's why I want to finish the thought. It's just a ridicule in action. I mean, it's just like antagonizing and ridiculing us over and over again. Go on. Yeah.
Well, of course it is. It's just like the $1 billion to fund the Capitol Police, right? Like, so all the defund the police people actually got behind and funded the Capitol Police, right? So, and again, as the deciding vote on that won by one vote, dude. The funding of the Capitol Police thing won by one vote. That was AOC's vote, dude. So we get to this thing, right, where we're again is part of that part of where I see hope a little bit is the progressives are waking up. You have the Jimmy Dores, the Glenn Greenwalds, where I keep constantly see the most asleep people in the room are the conservatives, across the board. And I think that's what we were talking about earlier today in our own different ways, is these people that should know better are asleep at the wheel because they just don't want to look at how their own things infiltrated.
I'm going to share you a link. You can
link me.
It's fascinating because you don't have to look that far. Just a couple little smacks of the key.
Okay, let's see. Is this this link's for everyone? All right, here we go. That's for me, everyone. There, yeah, exactly, dude. Let's see. Wait, yeah, that's the no. This stuff's all over the place, dude.
Okay.
So it's this is old news though. The Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez reveals her Jewish ancestry at Hanukkah celebration. Yeah, dude, she's a total fraud across the board.
I mean, you're in New York and you're in politics, and that's the thing with Trump, as I said from the beginning. When I was at the dinner table growing up, I mean, we used to talk about Trump as he was like a great uncle, meaning he was like the great uncle for every Jewish family living in Miami, you know? And so this is, not surprising at all, but I didn't realize that actually she was, but I'm not surprised.
Well, again, is the reason where I think again is where I circle back to this thing is not that it matters on like a theatrics level, right? It doesn't matter. Like, who cares? Like, that's whatever. She's just another fake politician once again, manipulating everything, right? To get us into where I think it's interesting is the people that are supposed to know these things are playing possum, right? We were talking about the people in your world, so to speak. Let's just leave it at that. And we'll just say people in our worlds, right? Whether they be institutions, whether they be spiritual or faith-based or educational or cultural, whatever it may be. We have people that are sitting that know exactly what this manipulation is that's going on, right? That aren't who they appear to be, that don't get to claim ignorance, that they can't be this ignorant, right? Like, and it struggles, right? It's a struggle, right? I mean, you were talking about it earlier today with these people that that should know better. Then they put their blind faith into institutions. I mean, you know, especially when you look at the branch COVIDiots, man, you know, and what's going on with the branch COVIDiots, dude. They're still running around. Israel's coming out with crazy new numbers, dude, that are alarmingly revealing. Norway's just declared it.
I'd like to say, I'll say something about that whole ruse too, by the way, when you're.
Yeah, because as parents, once again, I think we're getting as us having children in the field, so to speak. Yeah. They're getting the fallout of this hustle. I mean, us as adults, like, we're warriors, we're supposed to take this on, but they are aiming all of this at our children.
Absolutely.
Which freaks me out. So you look at Norway, and I advise everyone to look at Norway. Norway is officially classified COVIDs as nothing more than the flu. So the dominoes are starting to fall. So what is the hustle right now? You know, it's just a giant marketing hustle at our children's expense. I don't know.
It's I mean, from a spiritual perspective, or from the position of like revelation, this is all about the third temple. Okay, this has always been about the third temple for a very long time, in my opinion. And that's, you know, Anthony Patch speaks on that in detail regarding sort of the microchip and all that other stuff. As far
you
as
mean the DLive computer chip and the whole...
which is, you know, and the argument that he has, that no world leaders could achieve this unison on a global scale without some tooling to help them in the process. And that's why he cites the fact that, or he says that, you know, AI, artificial intelligence, and the quantum computer system is basically managing the propaganda through the algorithm, through social media, and really honing down to the local demographics. You know, that's why, like, it's super weird when I walk into a store here where everyone's all like mask hyped. They want me to put a mask on, but if you go to Arizona or you go to some other state, it's totally mellow. Or even if you go down to San Diego, it might be even more mellow. Or even if you go to like another town within the Bay Area, it might be more mellow. I'll just conclude with this though. With Israel, with this whole, like, they were the first ones that came out. If you notice, they were the first ones that came out around a little bit before Trump started selling the vaccine. They were the first ones to come out and say, we've had breakthroughs. We basically, and at first they said, later they said it was a African-American woman who helped break through and invent the vaccine. But then Israel somehow, even before that, claimed that they had made headway, and they were the ones who basically, you know, broke ground on the whole vaccine creation. And so it's not really clear, but what is clear is that they're camouflaging it seems like there's a lot of camouflage by claiming that they are they're advocating so many so much injections and so much boosters, etc. And it's almost like they're pushing for it in a sense, right? But they are pushing for it. But then at the same time, they're saying, well, the numbers of those injected are of those who are showing to be blah blah positive seem to be it just seems to be a weird ruse to me. I don't know, it's hard to get my head wrapped around it, but it just something seems like the one who's so loud about it seems to be the one who's actually guilty about it, is what I can glean from it.
Well, I think that, you know, it's funny, even when I'm going to pull up the chip, I got the picture of the chip with the third temple, right? And it's the D-Wave computer chip with the third temple. side by side. And it again is, I think that it's almost exhausting. It's so obvious on a certain level, like they're not hiding it anymore. So it, again, is where do we go from here, right? Like where do it's like that whole dig in we did with the skateboarding thing a couple weeks ago, you know, like, okay, it's that thing of,
Well, sorry about that. Sorry. Ding a ding.
oh wait, it's nice, we have neo-Nazis spamming the chat right now. It's good, dude. We're fired up. We're over the target apparently. I think,
Yeah, so that you hear that now. Those are bots, most probably, in my opinion.
for sure. No, I've seen all the bot farms and the
But
whole
as soon as we start talking about this, it's like fire away. I just sent another link to you because I don't need to share this, and we don't have to stay on this subject because it's going to bring heat. But I would conclude that if people want to know why we're going through this whole thing. I mean, I believe the word COVID translated into Hebrew is Kobe. And Kobe means to supplant, to put something in its place. If you take a strawberry tree or strawberry plant, sorry, if you take an apple tree out of its place and you replace it with a pear tree, there's a supplanting that's happening right now that, you know, this country, America, is being supplanted by something new, or the world is being supplanted by something new, and that's the NWO. But the third temple, at the end of the day, is the cornerstone of the whole riddle, and that's why, like, Israel's so loud about you know, everyone's infected, and this is the media that's putting this out there, which I think that's a way to sort of obfuscate or to distract people away from the real, you know, from the real culprit of the whole thing. So,
well, I think, you know, I think again is the trouble, right? The trouble with all these things that they have built-in firewalls, right? So it's real hard to talk about any of this stuff that is the where it all is aiming without getting sucked into these straw men, if you will. Like, oh, let's just go drift off into the dude with the funny mustache and those guys. Let's go drift off into the Zionists and that freak show over there. Let's go over here and talk about reptilians. Let's talk about aliens. Like the closer you get to the simple truth, there's all these built-in firewalls, and
I hear you.
And it's tricky because how do you so it's again is why is AOC so interesting, right? To almost circle back is why are we funding the Iron Dome? Why are we funding the Iron Dome? And again is you can make that something about Israel. I don't know if that's even what it's about, man, because we're funding somebody else's military protection. They have a higher standard of living than we do at home. Our own borders are falling apart. There's madness down there. And yet we're sending money over to fund somebody else's weird authoritarian state in the middle of this thing that I can't, again, is I don't even want to get into the polarizing squirt about it, right? Because it's again, is the minute you drop into that place, it has its built-in polarizations, right? What do you mean? You're pro-Israel, means you're anti-Palestine, you're pro-Palestine means you're anti-Israel, and then you just get sucked away from the fact of like, why is this?
Well, I don't even think you have to talk about it from a worldly, political, sociological perspective or any of this. It's from a spiritual, it's from a revelation standpoint. This is from scripture, whether you read the Quran or you read the Bible. This is the signs of the last day. And the third temple, the rebuilding of the Temple of Solomon, is the precursor for the Antichrist to sit down in that seat of power and to operate. I don't think there's anything I don't think there's anything that's going to, I don't think there's anything unjust about that fact. I think it's okay to mention it. Where it is wrong, in my opinion, yeah, is if you say this whole race or this whole group or this whole, I should know better because I grew up as a Jew and I became Muslim and I'm a skateboarder. And all three of those catch a lot of hell for being misunderstood. But I just,
Well, no, that's what I mean about the built-in firewalls is the mere fact you even have to break it off like that is a waste of time, right? Like that for some reason, right? And this is where people don't want to look is our own, and this isn't about like a Jewish thing. I don't like that's a Zionist thing. That's why I don't go into any of that stuff, but our entire government is APAC, is funded by APAC. Right?
How dare you?
And we don't want to look at that the orange man was the dude who passed the executive order saying you can't even speak bad about that stuff, dude. Like again, is I don't think that people are looking in the right spot. For me, this whole COOF thing and the Branch Covidiots have always been a smokescreen. This whole thing's a smokescreen from what's really going on, because they seem to be building what we've been, I think, slightly understand is a targeting apparatus for
my son. My son is what's it? Yeah.
Is the annoyed dad look, dude. I know that look, dude. He's in big trouble.
We got him for 30 more minutes. A good kid. He came back on the hour on the dot and said 30 more minutes.
Good.
Turn the light on here.
No, so it's this thing, right? And I think we were talking about it earlier today. You can get all into the hustles about like uncovering it all, but again, as we have children that we're moving
absolutely
through time and space, right?
Yeah.
And we can't, as fathers and husbands, sit back idly by and not be trying to decode the grid. That doesn't mean we don't stop. I took Al, we went on some rad bike riding today. We went to Sunday school today. Like that doesn't mean we stop life and do this whole thing. But I think we're interfacing is like I think we're really starting to see that this is it's not weaponized towards us. This is weaponized towards our children. And what is the weapon, and what's the weapon all about, and why is it doing what it's doing, and who are these culprits in it? And they hide through their thing of this polarizing upper level nonsense, where you have to decode it. I mean, like it's like the 170-page document I sent, and here it is again for everybody. The flow chart. Okay, great. All right. So who cares? Who cares? Right? Your dude who's that you talk to me about ain't gonna read it, right?
I was just thinking that. I was like, and even the people who read it, it's like,
so what?
The paradigm, they're still going to be like, yeah, I got the sniffles. I think I'm going to go get tested for COVID. Oh, I gotta just make sure, if you're going to come over, make sure to wear your mask. So, I mean, if you send it to those people, they're not, it's the whole, it's like you said before, it's like it is a frequency, if you're on it, you're on it. If you're not, you're not. And I'm not condemning those who are not on the frequency or saying they can never get on it, but it really is like at this stage, it takes a lot of soul searching if you're not there, and a lot of, a sincere heart to like, at least, like I asked my teacher the other day, I was like, my spiritual teacher, I was like, what do you think of this whole thing? He's like, there's no good in this injection. It's simple. He's like, I don't know the details, but God has put in my heart, there's no good in it. It's simple. Like for him, he didn't need to go down the rabbit hole. He was just like, I have this stance and I don't,
well, it's this weird baseline thing. Like that's what's so interesting is it's intuitive. Right. It's very obvious. Like just what, again, you could take that 170 page flow chart of the interconnected directory of who all these people are that are doing this thing with all their health organizations and all the health. Dude, the No Agenda guys did a deep dive on that Wen chick who's in charge of the what's her name, Wen, the Chinese chick who's like, looks like she's a Chinese agent, right? So what? It doesn't matter. I literally can take one line in the flow chart and just go, sauce, pharmaceutical corporation, deal done, dude. I don't care. They could literally be giving me like, you know, gold. If they were handing out gold coins, I would be like, no, I don't want your gold coins either, dude, because you're them. Anything you're giving away, I have to, it's got skull and crossbones on it. Just so I don't get that how people aren't like, again, when you get to the fact that the third leading cause of death in the United States is medical misdiagnosis in this country, it's not the coof. It's not, it's and the two before to what the comorbidities like obesity and heart disease, right? Isn't that what it is? I don't have the chart in front of me, but
diabetes,
again is
probably diabetes
but again is if you're overweight, like what
diabetes and heart disease, I think it is.
Yeah, it's very much.
And you don't have to go far. It's like, why do people have diabetes, right? It's like the whole entire food system, what we've been taught, what we've been trained to believe is good for you, the food pyramid, the sad standard American diet is what's making all these people sick. And obviously, anyone with some semblance of or idea of what's healthy understands that.
No, it's the hot. We do have good bots. We had now the new bot is National Socialism, dude.
I'm not getting it on my side.
I got my teams out there deleting them pretty quick, dude.
Okay.
But again, it's this interesting thing of you know, again, like where are we at with this thing? You know, you were talking to me about the frustration of dealing with supposedly educated adults who should know better and they don't. And it's like, see, I'm over. I don't get mad about it anymore. I'm still like there frustrated because it's like, it's close to home in a sense, like my community
and our schools, you know, especially for a Muslim community, the schools and the mosques are all interconnected. So we have like, my son goes to like a private Muslim school, which is at the mosque. And so it's all ran by women. And at this, and at the same, which is not the problem, but when I say it's all ran by women, it's like, they're the ones who've taken up the effort to educate our kids. And so there's no like man there. There's no guiding force there to sort of stand up and like with any backbone, you know. So there's like ultra compliance. There's still, you know, temperature checks and masks and all that. And it's embarrassing. And
well, it's weird about how people
sorry, I was distracted by your feed.
No, it's interesting how the hustle, like people won't allow the full hustle, like how they can see the hustle in one department, right? They can see and then the other hustle right next to it, they can't see. It's like how, like anyone who doesn't, like, it's like my pastor, right? So I'll speak in my own department. My pastor, right? He's 100% like awake about like what's going on in the US, what's up with the sauce, what's up with the mandates and the whole thing. And yet he still can't see through the orange man hustle, dude. still is an orange man guy. And I just want to be like, dude, how can you be so awake about all this stuff and about scripture and all this stuff and still sit there and not have given up the orange man hustle, dude? Like it's very weird how, and again is why I've really realized the most dangerous people in our community are conservatives. And I would say the same, like the people you were talking about in your community, they're very conservative, right? By their very nature, right? And the same thing in my world, they're very conservative, and they almost seem to be mono vision, dude. Like they don't have the ability to see and like that's why would never call myself a conservative, because it's like I would never pigeonhole myself into one lane of that, because like again, it's like the only hope I see is breaking is shunning these conservative people that are still hanging on to these conservative like monoculture ideas and being like, nah, dude, like that is your Achilles heel, dude, unless you're like Amish or something and you're like really like tilling your own fields, dude, or something. You know, the Amish seem to be the only people that really got it going on, dude, from what I can tell, in a weird way, you know, because they're you know, they're raising their own food, localizing their supply chain.
No, I think that there's pockets of people that do get it, and I think that there's families and small groups of people. And one guy was saying, well, it's because you've aligned yourself with clowns. I mean, a lot of us have had these friends for years before Brovid-19, and Brovid-19 was the revealing. It showed you where people are at, and you have to there's a part of you that has to be like a part of it's. For me, it's I'm torn between like saying you're an idiot and writing people off, and being compassionate and being understanding that that's where they're at. And I go in and out of those two states depending on how centered I am, and that's my own weakness, but that's where I think that's normal to feel that, because some days when your realization hits of how crazily duped the majority of people are, and you're like, oh, why can't I just wake them up? But then you're like, there's a process to that. Whenever someone says to me, like, the telltale for me is like, if I share something with someone and they say anything remotely close to, oh, there you go with your conspiracies again.
Oh yeah,
they say that, yeah. I'm like, okay, that is where I wash my hands of a person, because I know that we can't even get up the ladder yet.
Well, that's the mental circuit breaker.
Yeah, that's we can't even go anywhere. We can't get on the ride at all. So
have I ever talked to you about this? And I've discovered it a couple of times. And so, like, I don't know how familiar you are with like electricity and stuff. I'm not an electrician, but like in your electric panel in your house, right? Like if you plug in too many things into an outlet, it'll trigger a circuit breaker and it'll shut it all down so it doesn't overload it and burn down your house. Or if you get at the RFI in the bathroom, if you get it wet, it'll just trigger it so no more electricity is moving on, right? No. Same thing with in your car with your fuses in your fuse box. Like there's circuit breakers, right? When it overloads. I've realized, and I realized this about a year ago, that people have been mentally implanted with mental circuit breakers. And these can be revealed in various words. One of those would be, oh, you're one of those conspiracies here. That's a circuit breaker, shut down conversation, null and void. We're not going any further.
You're a Trump supporter.
That or full stop. When I hear someone say full stop, that's a circuit breaker. I go, okay, we're done. Like, you got it. Full stop. You're right. You just stay in your like small world. Full stop. You're racist is another one. Nazi is another one. It's these ideas have been supplanted into people to stop the conversation, because again is I think where we have our own ability to communicate is you and I have both had our journey of struggle, right? We've both had our journey where we went to the abyss of life and we came back, we got a second chance at life, and we prospered with family, right? We had children, we regained ourselves, we came over this thing. So we've already experienced life caught in the hustle and broken the spell by our own meltdown, if you will, right? And own just failing at trying to keep the plates juggling, and it's dance to us. And so now when we see it is I can always run it by that same lens and be like, I've been there before, you know. It's like, I mean, it's like no different than like I wanted to, nothing more than me wanted the Orange Man to be legit. Like I was rooting for him. I knew that there was all sorts of signs that the dude was a fraud and a Trojan horse. Like I kept saying it all along, but like even up until the end, I was kind of like, yeah, maybe, dude, like the Hail Mary of like, maybe it's not a hustle. You just, maybe for once it's not a hustle. Maybe I got it all wrong, because I just want to be wrong about all of this.
Gotta catch the pedophiles, man.
Yeah, dude.
Hillary, man, Hillary.
10,000 indictments, bro. That's why like it's funny. I was listening to David Wilcock, the new David Wilcock the other day, and he's still like, the arrests are coming, dude. I'm like, wow, man.
Like, are you getting paid? Like, are you getting a salary for that? Like a monthly salary?
Well, they all are. Well, of course they are. They it's like that AMTV guy, dude, Chris Green, dude, with his like, today's the day it's all going to melt down. Get your crypto here. Cryptos. It's all these side hustles.
Roger, what was the guy? Robert David Steele was that guy?
Yeah.
They're going to send them to kids are sending to Mars, and they're.
Well, that's the dude who hijacked Alex Jones, dude. The Robert David Steele thing is always very interesting to me, because I know exactly where I was, and I was listening to InfoWars live, walking. I was hiking that day, listening to it live when Robert David Steele came on and said that whole thing about the Mars bases and the kids and the whole thing, and Jones being like, not here, buddy, which was the beginning of the end of Jones, was that moment. But I heard it live. And so anytime I hear that weird thing, I'm like, dude, I heard it live. Dude, that dude was a fully like hijacked that whole thing with nonsense, dude, and just... And
passed away recently, I think.
And the gay frog boiled, you know, and the gay frog is gone, dude. Yeah, the gay frog is gone, dude. So again, it's the thing of like, yeah, it's all happening. I don't know what to make of it all, dude. As a dad, like, you know, like I said, how much more real is it than having to pull your son in today and ground him, be like, you're grounded. Right? Like it doesn't need to be any more than that on a level, you know, like, cause that's it. Like it's so out there, and yet it doesn't really matter. Does any of this, does this 170 page flow chart of all the people, do the branch covidiots, do the face diaper donkeys, do the idiots in position of power really matter when you were standing with your boy and you're like, you're busted, go to your room, dude? Was it just a dad standing there in truth, right? It's no different than when me and my wife were standing on the cul-de-sac. You could have been raining nuclear bombs and saw shots, and we would have been standing there like, you're busted, dude. Get in the house.
Yeah, I don't think any of it I don't think any of it matters, because we don't live there. Like we don't engage with that. The only reason we're concerned is that we see other people that are falling for it, you know.
Well, I see other people suffering. I had a talk. I was talking about it the other day. Is I see a lot of people suffering and they're looking to people to not allow them to suffer, because they just don't have any. There's no leaders anymore, dude. I mean, do you check out like the one dude who's rad? If you checked out New Era Detroit, I send you his link a couple times on Instagram.
Send it again.
Yeah, New Era Detroit is the black dude for the last 7 years who's been organizing in Detroit. And it's all about, we as a community, we don't need cops. We don't need bad businesses here. We protect the women, the children, and the elderly ourselves. And the people that want to harm them, they're out. But it's not, but he's like, well, that's the surface. Underneath it all is like, we need to take care of each other. So they go distribute food, and they're driving around, like getting to know each other. And like, they have these big things, and they go to these businesses that are harming their community and straight kick the people out. Go, your business is shut down in our community. Like, you're done. You need to take your stuff and go. We will no longer buy. And
I know you're talking about.
And they stand in front of their stores and stuff, and they won't let people shop there. Like, no, this business harms our community, and they won't let the cops in. And it's very Malcolm X-y, right? And I think that what I see a lot when I'm out and about is these people that are looking for somebody to lead them out of the wilderness, right? And right, like it's that thing of wasn't there he is. What wasn't Moses an unwilling like leader, right? Moses didn't want to like lead the Israels out of Egypt, right? He was like the guy, he got called in an old age. Am I correct on that? Like, I'm not
sure.
But anyway, like I think that what I guess what I was right before the phone hung up on us when we were talking today is I think that people like us have unduly given authority to people that may not actually deserve it. And I mean like people in like, not, I don't mean these fake politicians and leaders. I mean people that are like our leaders, like right there, like that we have assigned leadership to, and we're still sort of like, man, I don't want to knock that dude off of, or I don't want to interfere with that dude's space. And then you go, and then you're in this interface with people at the supermarket or the Home Depot or wherever it may be. I had this fantastic conversation with this dude last night, dude. And he didn't care that I was a free facer. He had his thing on. He hooked me up and the whole thing. But in that thing, as I could tell, is like he wanted to know where I was coming from, man. Not to judge me or condemn me, but like, what's your frequency, Kenneth? Like, what are you about, dude? Like, because you don't seem to care. And why don't you care? And I'm like, I don't care. Like, and because I do care, right? Like I overwhelmingly care. I care so much that I don't care about this bull stuff. You know, that's the weird thing is how do we interface and care and be dads and all this stuff?
Yeah, I think the weirdest like part of it. But by the way, my son just came in, and you notice he came back from the trampoline park with his friend, just to let people know we don't mask in the house. He came with his friend. And poor kid forgot that he had it on. But we got these like see-through thing, because if you go to the trampoline park, they make the kids wear it, which is retarded. But anyways, just wanted.
Yeah, it's
wanted to clarify that. We wear the mask in the house because we don't want to infect each other. But I think that the weird thing here is it's like people feel like if you're not wearing the face cover, for example, that you don't care about grandma. That there's one like that is the weird part about it. The whole scam is that if you don't wear the face cover, then you're viewed as someone who's, you could be smiling and be warm and be kind and be more concerned really about grandma than anyone else in the room. But because
said
you don't have the mask on.
This is coming from people that if you asked them, where is your grandma? They would probably
they wouldn't even know.
She's at Shady Oaks retirement center. Totally. She's not in my house.
Totally.
Like, and I think the people that are actually, like I run a totally different scene with Owl's grandparents. Like my folks, you know, I respect their thing, right? But but we don't, we allow that interface to be in that space, right?
Yeah.
In that, but when you're out about in the world, I'm sorry, dude. Like, no, dude. That's on you, dude. You need to take responsibility for yourself with your seniors, dude.
Yeah. I mean, how do we want to do this though? Like, I'm 20 feet away from you. I'm at the store. Everyone's putting, and I told the guy today, I was in the store, you know, walked in. Obviously, I don't wear the thing. I went into Ross, and the guy was like, "Sir, you're gonna have to put this on." And I looked him right in the eyes. I said, "I'm not putting it on. You can call the police. I'm not putting it on, because if you look around, you tell me, does everyone here, are they wearing it properly? They're putting it on below their nose. Some people put it on their chin. Some people put it on their head. I'd rather not play the game, so I'm not going to wear it. You can go ahead and call the police." He said, "Oh, it's cool, bro. Go ahead." And it's like, thank you.
Well, again, so we are getting the thing. It was Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt. He was old. He was a poor speaker, and he felt ill-equipped to do the job he was tasked with by God. And I think that again is not to even jump into that sort of hubris that we would be like that. But I think that is why these stories and these parts of scripture are so important, is because it's always been, that's who David was, who fought Goliath, right? He was the one dude who stepped up. And like, again, I think that the hard part, especially in this crazy world, is like the buck stops with us, right? Like, and how do we do that with dignity and grace and God in our heart? Because I know for sure that the one thing that I know about it is if I do it with any sort of aggression, I'm not in God, right? I'm not, because God's already told me I don't need to worry about it, dude. He's got me, right? Like, but me as a warrior or man or whatever, dad, or just annoyed that day, like it's hard to maneuver around it. Like the dude yesterday at the Chinese military base I went to get a compressor. I was doing self-checkout, right? And he was all like tatted up and looked like one of those progressive types, right? And I remember he started to help me, and I was slightly annoyed at first. My first instinct was to be annoyed, right? And then I was like, no, this dude's just trying to help me out. And then at a certain point, he asked me some question. He's like, I can hook you up and get you like $100 off all this. And I'm like, how do you do that? He's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then we started talking, he was like, this is madness, dude. I go, yeah, dude. And we started talking, and all of a sudden, like we were both talking about our children. We were talking about how we're getting through it and our own trials and tribulations of this thing as two men standing there at the checkout thing. But my first instinct was to be annoyed at this being, right? And then because I didn't react to that on that level, I actually had a conversation in the grace of God in that space, because I'm a super edgy, annoyed dude of my very nature. Like, I want to punch people in the face. Like, I'll be super clear. Like, I don't enjoy this. This triggers all of my Hiroshima, Nagasaki on a rego, dude. And so I do try to tamp it down and try to stay as the dude. Maybe we're supposed to be leading these people out of the desert.
The thing that to that, like when you asked me earlier about Moses, and I saw the brother comment, and that actually is accurate. But if you think about it, all of the prophets of God felt inadequate because they knew that it was God who gives them victory. So there's no like Aaron, like, I'm going to lead everyone out. I'm going to be the one to do it. They were like only God with his help, God willing, we will do this. And so just to say that, like, for us, for you, for me, or for anyone out there, who is wanting to take that initiative, that doesn't happen without, I think it does not happen without the help of God. And so when we're wanting to respond to people and we're wanting to like check people and put them sort of, have that initial like agitation, which I'm right there with you, bro. Like I have it probably worse at times where I just want to like snap, but that, to control that and to like.
Well, let me ask you this: is as like, I think for me, like if I even just think about it while you were talking, it's just exhausting. Like there's a certain part of me, right, that like, so today we went and we rode the bikes and we had a blast. Al and I did. We were riding our bikes, doing our thing, and like there's a part of me that's like, oh, I just want to walk away. We talked about this the other day, right? Just want to walk away but we can't. Like we could, but we can't, and it's not for us, right? It's
some people do that.
Yeah, but it's not for us. It is for these defenseless people that don't know how to do that can't.
Daddy,
and
7:18.
Okay, give me like 5 more minutes to wrap it up, okay? Yeah, and Sissy's coming home, so I can help her with her homework, dude. So yeah, and there's like it's like, yeah, because we're dudes in the game. Right, like we like there's no walking off the field at this point, is there? I don't think so. And that makes me want to punch people in the face, because I'm like, dude, will you guys walk on the field? You get what I'm saying? It's like will somebody else like walk on the field? And there's plenty of people on the field, don't get me wrong, out there in the stream. Like there are no shortage of people that I follow and listen to that are on the field. Yeah. But where I always like just go, dude, like you just know there's never going to be a day where these people are going to rip these things off their face and like a mass unison and be like, we're done. Like it's never going to stop. Like I've given up any sort of like, well, maybe this too shall pass type of thing about the pick. I think we're going to be looking at idiots with diapers on their faces till we die.
18 months it takes to acquire a complete and full new behavior.
I thought it was 28 days.
It's 18 months.
Yeah. So we're
I read it in I'm saying I read it in what's this guy, multi-billionaire guy. He had it in his book. He's like, people think it takes 21 days, 28 days, 14 days, 40 days. He says per the actual study, it takes 18 months to actually like ingrain a permanent habit in people. And that's why if you look at Fauci, he said it will be 18 months will be like this. He said that in the beginning, which makes sense because per the real science, it takes 18 months to acquire a new behavior, not a habit. A habit's one thing. We're talking about a full overhaul of your behavior, a new behavior, an ideological rewiring and that's what has happened.
Well, that again is that like, so if we think about it, like, so yeah, that's, if you ask me, I don't care. It's not the sauce. It's that I'm in 100% resistance to, and that's why I won't give on any of this other stuff. Is like, no, I'm not joining your like rewiring program, dude.
Yeah.
And it seems to me that's the confirmation, like, right. Like yeah, I'm doing that. And you can look at the new things that are coming out. Like if you, again, look over at Israel, dude, they've now done the thing where it's the number 3 is required to keep your card active. And that automatically expires at 6 months. So this thing is never ending to those who have given themselves to this process.
Yeah.
Is they like every 6 months they're going to be required to renew like their thing, dude. And
yeah, the Microsoft operating system needs its anti-malware update.
Yeah, so it's this weird.
My wife saw you came in and looked and gave me the eye, so I'm gonna have to
Okay, me too. I'm right on that same schedule. We ran late because I don't even know. Between you and me, brother, I don't even know what we're talking about, man. We're just two dads trying to get through this thing.
No, it's all good, man. I enjoy it. When we're talking about whatever we're talking about must be a little bit relevant because we've got a lot of dislikes and
Do we
either
have
we're over the target or we're just boring.
dislike? That's good. We got dislikes. Oh, we're matching dislikes to likes, dude. That's unprecedented. That's good, dude. Smash that like button, dude. Let's blow that out of the water. I don't think I've ever had one that's actually where the dislikes have surpassed the likes yet, dude. But we
Shoot,
could,
man. I hope
you've done it. Gordon. Like you've really done it, dude. Thanks, bro.
Sorry, bro.
Don't talk about iron domes and
Sorry, bro.
yeah, it's a
Crimping
lot.
your style.
No, it's we're over some sort of target, dude. I don't know what that
You'll find out from your crowd eventually. You'll be like,
we're over. You know, most of well, yeah, as long as Top Feed's still here, there's this our usual and Joe and Sega and Nick. That yeah, we got the usual crowd. They ain't going anywhere, dude. Hey, look, man.
All right, brother.
Good night.
All good, man.
Good night. I love you, man.